Hello and welcome back to Alt Majority. I'm Shay.
I'm Shannon. Thanks so much for stopping in with us. On our channel, we like to talk about the law of attraction and spiritual awakening and just magic and universe things. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today. Really been looking forward to our chat, Shay.
Yes, me too. This is really an opportunity, listeners, for my mom and I to catch up too. So you're kind of real time seeing us talk about just the magic that's going on in both of our lives as well.
Yeah, let's start talking a little bit about the super intense energy that has just been present everywhere.
Yeah.
I know everybody's been feeling it. I've been feeling it. The people around me have been feeling it. And I know it's like we're approaching eclipse season and we're really in the eclipse portal already. So I think everyone around us, including us, but like is just sort of feels like a little bit on the edge.
Yeah.
How do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was just listening to another healer today who reminded me that it's Vata season, which in Ayurveda, Vata is the constitution that involves air and ether. So it's like this
Okay.
floaty energy where people don't really feel stable, right? It's maybe like a bit of a chattery mind, kind of just like feeling floaty. And that's how I've definitely been feeling. And so there's like a plethora of things that you can do to support yourself during this season. I mean, just for example, like we are going inside. We're about to reach the point of hibernation for the year. It's about to be winter, even if you are in places that don't have a winter like we are. It's still the energy is there of winter, and so it's the time to like get super cozy. And I have been feeling like all this like chaotic energy is just like the storm before the calm. Like it's just like we're kind of figuring things out, like scrambling a
Yeah.
little bit, and then it's like we're gonna be tight and cozy in a second. Is my hope. I know we are leading up into eclipse season, so talk more about the astrology of that too.
Well, I think it's actually a little bit backwards from what you're saying. That this is actually the calm before the storm, which it seems like there's already chaos around. So to be already picking up on the chaotic energy, knowing that it's actually going to ramp up a little bit for all of us, um, that's not something we need to be alarmed about or concerned about, and it's like that whole thing of don't go into fear
Yeah,
when we know change is coming, when we know chaos is coming. When we go into fear, all we do is we just draw in what we're fearing,
yeah,
basically, and we it's like that idea of, either worrying about the past so much where you just dwell and dwell, or you're sitting in anxiety where you're just, like, worried about the future, and, "Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen?" None of that is helpful right now because the energy is so volatile, and there is just a lot of kind of planetary movement going around meant to shake us up, meant to stir our souls up.
yeah,
So I think a lot of what people are doing is just sort of hanging on tight right now to what they know, hanging on to what feels comfortable. But these are the things that the universe is really trying to pull out from under us and shake us out of our complacency by pulling away those things that we used to really rely on, those things that we really, counted on for being stable, things in our life. So I think it's really important that we focus really on these four pillars, right? The four pillars of health, wealth, relationship, and purpose. And if we just really start to really think about where are we at in each of those, it's easier to manage the kind of the whole feeling of chaos and change that we have going in, in our personal lives and in the world. We just got to basically bring it down a little bit. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I while you're saying this is the image that's in my head is like a tree with a bunch of apples on it, and it like shaking in the wind, like getting rid of like dead apples. That's like what it's like that I
Yeah.
feel like is the energy of what is happening right now. It's really, for me at least, really making me um inquire and ask questions about why am I doing this and how am I doing this and how can I better support myself, the life that I'm leading. Um yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of these shakeups are meant again to kind of stir our souls up, to progress us, to expand us. So it's not that comfortable. And that's really what it is. It's just not very comfortable all the time.
Yep.
And even though we ourselves, we can control ourselves, that's all we can actually control is us. So we just have to kind of take it back, take it in, take some breaths in, and just stay as calm as possible, and try to be as present as possible.
Well, that's
And
yes, that's what I was just about to go into. It's like during these times is when it can be easy to kind of fall off the wagon of these rituals that kind of do ground you down, right? Because the energy is kind of pulling you everywhere. But now is when we should be doing it
yeah,
the most. I was just thinking today, like gratitude is a practice that I practice every single day, but I
yeah,
haven't physically written in my journal. I kind of like, oh, well, I can say it in my mind. I can say it out loud, so that's good enough. But it's like right now, what we need is some grounding energy, like physically sitting down and writing for 10 minutes about my gratitude is probably exactly what I need to do right now.
yeah, it probably is, probably is. So I wanted to sort of like break up the things that we want to talk about into those four categories of the health, wealth, relationship, and purpose. So let's start talking a little bit about health, because if our souls are being shaken up, if our lives are being shaken up, this is when a lot of times our health suffers. Two
Yeah.
reasons. Number one, either we're so caught up in our lives that we just don't pay attention to moving our body. We don't pay attention to what we're eating. We don't drink enough liquid. Like we're not paying attention. That's one way. Or another way is just emotionally, we don't deal with our stuff, and
Yeah.
therefore we stuff it down in, and we eventually end up in dis-ease
Yep.
in some way because there's some type of thing that we're not dealing with. So it's super important right now to pay attention to your health. So what are you doing right now, Shay, to really just pay attention to that pillar of health for your body?
Well, first and foremost, we're in fall season, so I just been consuming all of the warm things for my
Oh
body.
yes.
Warm ribs,
Soup.
soups,
Yeah.
homemade breads, like anything that's gonna feel super nourishing to me. But something else that
Yeah.
I've been doing is really, really paying attention to my emotions because they are so often what is is telling me how my body is functioning right now. I was
Yeah.
just telling my friend I was at a wedding this past weekend and the best man was giving his speech and I start crying. I'm an easy crier or whatever. But while I'm crying at the table, in front of a whole bunch of people, I felt this deep pit of like sadness, maybe grief that was wanting to come out. And I could have ignored that feeling, right? But instead it's like, okay, I need to really give us some attention to this feeling that needs to be released inside of me. So really just paying attention to what your body is doing is going to tell you exactly what you need to do for your own health. I mean, it would probably
Yeah.
serve me well to have a great cry, to really journal and spend some time with the feelings that so much has been going on in my life in the past 6 months, but everybody's the energy has been
Everybody's.
so rapid, so intense the past 6 months. So just giving yourself the time and space for your mental health is going to be great for your physical health as well. So
I
just
mean, was that even your feeling
well, that's the
necessarily?
I am an empath, right? And so I really do pick
Yeah.
up on that. But this felt different. This felt different. I know that I'm carrying some things inside of me that I need to release, and I do. And that's the other thing. It's like as healers, as people who work towards transformation, sometimes it can be easy not to give yourself the session or give yourself the time. And so,
Yeah.
right now, more than ever, if you are somebody who helps people, transform throughout their life, you heal people, you need to be taking care of yourself during this time, first and foremost, especially in the type of energy that we are in right now. And that has been something
Yeah.
that has been popping up in my mind, like again and again, messages from the ancestors, from the universe is like, put you first. You can't even help anybody else unless you put you first.
It's
And
so true.
that's what the four pillars are all about, right? If you have an imbalance in any one of these, then your foundation is going to crumble at some point, some way, somehow. So, I mean, here's your invitation, dear listener, to Do whatever it is you need to do to take care of you, and trust that taking care of you is going to be what's best for everybody in your life. So
Yeah.
that was
I
a
mean,
tangent, but off of health. Yeah.
no, that was a good tangent, a really good tangent. We don't have anything when we don't have our health, and we all know that when we break down, when we feel sick, when something goes wrong, we know exactly what that how much importance we really should be putting on our bodies and our health, and we got to have that. We got to take care of that. And I mean, the universe is really testing us right now, really testing us, and it might show up as a health problem if we're not paying attention to really how we're managing those emotions, those feelings. It doesn't always feel comfortable to have something come up on you like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't, whether it's yours or somebody else's. I was
Right.
listening to something earlier and somebody was talking about how during this lifetime, we're actually shedding
Mm,
so much karma from other lifetimes, even that it just feels so intense out of nowhere. Just something will feel so important, so relevant, just like, what was that? Wow. And it could be that we're just resolving something that happened during a different lifetime.
yeah.
We don't even know it. It's just subconsciously our souls are leading us toward those things. So this as the earth is starting to raise her frequency, and as the earth starts to basically shift up, we are all doing so. So we cannot bring those lower densities with us. We can't bring those lower energies with us. Some people on earth aren't coming with us, right? Like, some people won't make the transition to the new earth. Some people's energies aren't going to be comfortable. They won't want to go. And that's okay. That's okay. But as we start to shift and like all these new light codes, all these changes to our bodies, to our DNA, to just basically our human existence here, as all those changes come, it's exhausting. It is. And this is a time where you might just feel like you want to sleep for a whole day.
Yep.
You might just want to. Like, we're going through everything. It's more than just the circumstances in your life or whatever mental things are going on. We're actually literally going through a physical upgrade here.
Yeah.
So be easy on yourself, you know?
Yeah,
Just know that that's what's happening.
I read this quote earlier on Instagram that said, "Here's your reminder, your body doesn't need to earn the rest. You inherently have the rest." So it's exactly what you said. If you feel like you need to sleep all day, so much is freaking going on. Give
Yeah.
yourself grace. Like, you don't you deserve the rest. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to do all these things before you can rest. No, so much has been going on, not just in this lifetime, but what you were saying about us shedding karma from past lifetimes. Sometimes that's what it is, and nothing's a coincidence, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
even thinking
My
about like,
dreams have been wild. I don't know about you. I know we've been talking about it, but wow, the dreams have been nuts, right?
and just paying attention to who's popping up in your life right now.
Yeah.
Everything is for you, and I'm of the belief system that I meet somebody in this lifetime, right? They've been with me before. I don't think that you really meet, I mean, you definitely meet new people that you haven't been with in the past, but especially if it's so ingrained, like this was my partner Peyton's his friend's wedding. So these are people who have been traveling with him. I've been
Yeah.
traveling with him. There's no coincidence that I'm feeling like this well of emotion. Who even knows what could have gone down between me and all these
Right.
individuals in a past lifetime that now I'm crying at the wedding, you know? And so it's just like
Totally.
really paying attention to what is popping up in your life right now, which is going to move on to relationships, right? We talked about how I'm kind of skipping past wealth for a second. We'll come back to it. But just your relationships. I know that something for me that's been going on is just like, I really feel like my soul family is coming together. Like, for the first time, oh, I might cry about it now. For the first time ever, I'm just realizing that all the people that I have met in the past, even just 2 years, who have just like totally transformed my life and have been such um inspiration for the quantum leaps that I've been going through. Like, that is no coincidence, especially how we're saying that the earth, she is upgrading right now. So just pay attention to who's coming into your life. And whether it be somebody who's there to just teach you a lesson, right? And then you move on, or whether it's somebody who's supposed to be with you, who is in your soul family, right? And who is going to be traveling with you to the next leap.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I mean, obviously, I've lived 52 years and um, I've had a lot of different cycles of people that I've met. I've met a lot of different, individuals. I've had a lot of different friendships come and go. And it's like so interesting to look back at the people who have been in my life to know they were there for a reason. Every single one of them was there to teach me something, to show me something. They were all a mirror,
Yeah.
all of them. And it's so interesting because like while you're in your life and you're in relationships and friendships, it feels like they're going to be there forever and it feels like they're going to be around, but I know that's really not what happens in life. People move on, friendships change, people change, and um, knowing all that, it's just that much more important to appreciate the ones that you have that are in your life right now. Okay. The ones that you have right now that you love and care about. You got to tell them, you got to tell the universe that you care about them. You got to send them your energy. You got to, you know what I mean? Send them your love, send them your compassion, give them your attention, let them know that you care. So, so important because you never know what could happen in life to people. You know what I mean? You just never know. And I think part of the energy too right now is really focusing our eyes on relationships. That's really where the universe is trying to get us to look because really our relationships are our mirrors. If you think about that idea that every single person that you meet that you have a significant interaction with, especially like you said, maybe you meet random people, but like the ones that you have those significant interactions with, that is your mirror. That is the universe reflecting something about you out so that you can see something. I just love the idea that every single person I know that I'm interacting with is for me.
Yeah.
They're for me. I'm supposed to learn or know something about myself. I'm supposed to expand a little bit farther because of my interactions with this person. And I know for some people I know, that's it seems so true. You meet somebody and it's like, wow, they blow your mind. And you're just like so drawn in, and you end up knowing them and interacting with them and exchanging energies and entangling yourself with them. Other people just sort of come and go, but it's the relationships that really make us know ourselves
Yeah.
that are the ones that we really should be paying attention to, good and bad,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
I
and
mean,
just even a step further, I invite us to think about not just our relationships with humans, but our relationships with everything.
with
You
everything.
know, the relationship you have with your phone, the relationship you have with your clothing, the relationship that you have with the food that you're eating, right? It all
Yeah.
is a mirror. Everything is a mirror for what's going on internally or what is to come or what has been.
Or what has been, right?
And
Your
so,
relationship with yourself.
yeah,
What are you saying to yourself? We've said this over and over. The words that you say to yourself are so important. We talk on and on about manifestation and different manifestation techniques and just the power of words and just the complete power of saying the sentence I am
mm,
and then finishing it with something.
mm,
So when you have a good relationship with yourself, those sentences I am end up being empowering words that come out of your mouth. Instead of disempowering words or words that are just stopping you and limiting you.
yeah, which
So,
I don't know if we're finished with relationship, but I just have a segue back to wealth here because we did skip it a few times this past weekend when I'm around all these people, right? I can't tell you how many times I heard people saying like I'm broke or
yes,
it's so expensive. It's so isn't it? It's just crazy how everything's so expensive. And I'm over here like, reminder, we're inherently abundant and we attract what we are. You'll never catch me saying I'm broke. Never.
yeah,
Never. It doesn't matter how much physical money I actually have. Like, I'm okay. I have a roof over my head. I have all the clothes that I need. I have food in my
Seriously.
fridge, like it's the small things. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's segue into wealth now and just how your words about what you are so important, especially in this area of wealth. And wealth isn't just money, by the way, right? It's time freedom, it's
Yeah.
money freedom. And these things I think get a bad rap for being like, evil, like money is evil. No, money is what gives you the ability to do certain things. It's an energy. And I would even venture to say she's an energy, right? That your ability.
You've always appreciated money from the
Always.
very beginning. So I
Yes.
don't know, like I always like tease that you were like a banker or something in your last life because you came out liking money. I remember one of your very um beloved presents I got you was that bank that you could lock or whatever.
I had a bank and a safe, both of them. I got 'em in the
Yes.
same year, and you best believe I was using them.
You were loaning out money to the family, which you would charge interest to your
"You wanna put something in
siblings.
you wanna put something in the safe? What is it, and how much money you gonna give me for it, and I'll keep it safe for you."
It's true, because money's a mindset.
Money's a mindset.
It is a mindset, and you're so right. It's this whole thing about where you'll have all these affirmations and you'll be like, "I am abundant, I am wealthy," and you go to the store and you're like, "Well, how much is that?
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yep.
I can't get that. I'm gonna order the cheapest thing on the menu at the
Yep.
restaurant." And it's literally telling the universe the exact opposite thing.
Yep.
It's telling the universe that you're in lack, and that's it. So when we really think about wealth, it isn't about having, so much money that you're just like rolling around in and you can buy anything you want. It's definitely not. But sometimes I feel like we have these first world problems that we translate out and we just make them a bigger deal. We're like, well, I can't get a new phone now. I'm going to be really bummed about that because I don't have enough money for a new phone. And I'm like, wow, I'm walking around with a $1,200 phone. Do you know what I'm saying? That I'm like complaining about that I can't get another one yet. And it's kind of nuts when you really think about all of the stuff that we have, especially um, here in our country, America. It's like we literally have a bounty of anything and everything we possibly could want.
Yep.
And even though we might not all have everything, yeah, we're pretty blessed. I mean, I saw this statistic about how the percentage of people that have televisions in their homes and even people who don't have money have TVs
Yep.
in their homes. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, there is some perspective here a little bit when it comes to wealth that we lose sight of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a beautiful energy that allows us to do the things that we wanna do, right?
Yeah,
And while we're on the topic of wealth, I'm just gonna throw a little tip and trick to call the abundance into your life. It's like, what are you, and how do you want money to flow into your life? Okay, well, find those people, those things that you are, and give money to them. One. And two, sometimes you got to live lavishly. Go out to lunch one day and order whatever the frick you want on the menu.
yeah,
And
right.
be happy about it. Don't do it and then later be like, oh, I spent $60 on that. I cannot believe I did that. No, you just treated yourself and told the universe that you were worth that amount of money and that you can have whatever it is that you want. This past weekend at the wedding, I am a server too, right? And so I am just like a very generous tipper because I know that it will come back to me, and I know how hard the work actually is. And so there was an open bar at the wedding. I'm not even drinking, right? And I gave $20 to each of the bartenders behind the counter. And I felt like a dang rock star, literally, that I could just give somebody $20 for thank you for your service, and just know that what you give is what you get, even with money. You pay, people, I don't know if you've heard that you vote with your dollar, but
Yeah,
it's so true.
yeah. It's so true. It's so true. And just like as we think about energy, money being just energy. Okay. Last week this happened to me twice. Okay. I am pulling up at this one stoplight right before I get to work. And on occasion, not very often, there's somebody standing there with a sign like asking for money. Now, I rarely have cash on me. Okay. I rarely do, but I do have some cash that I eat lunch with at work sometimes. Okay. So first day I pull up to the thing and I see the person. I'm kind of not the person necessarily who will give money to people, but also I will. So it just sort of depends, right? But I only had enough money in my wallet to basically eat lunch. Okay. So that day I picked myself and I was like, I'm not going to give him anything. I'm going to eat lunch. And I felt a little weird about it. I'm not going to lie. I felt bad about it. And I felt a little bit privileged that I was like driving my nice warm car and I was like going to get to work. And as I was eating my lunch that day, I sort of felt bad. And I was like, I feel like I slightly didn't pass that test.
Mm-hmm.
So next day, right? Next day, I pull up. Wasn't the next day, it was a couple days later. I pull up the guys there again, and I, without even hesitating, grabbed some cash out of my wallet and handed it to him. And I was like, "Here, have a great day." And I was like, "Thank you, universe, for that chance, actually, because I messed that up the first time." I think sometimes the universe puts people and things in front of us that we're supposed to notice. And I've seen other people that I've passed on the road that haven't thought that those ones weren't a test for me or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Those ones weren't necessarily for me. I'm co-creating everything with people around me. So like that was the person behind me's test or something, right? This guy was definitely mine. So when I gave him the money the second time, I instantly like knew, okay, that was it. And I didn't think about it. And I didn't have money for lunch that day and did not care. I
Yep.
knew that was actually the right thing to do. And I was super grateful that the universe gave me a chance to do it again. Um, and I feel like that's how money is. When you talked about like giving to get, there's that whole idea, and I think we should do a whole video on seed money. I've talked about this before. This
Yes.
idea of seed money, meaning I want a certain amount of money, so I'm going to put that much. I'm going to give 10% of what I want out, and say to the universe, "This is my seed money. I'm going to let this grow, and it's going to come back to me. I know it is."
Mhm.
I mean, I've manifested money. Like
Yes.
I know you have too. So
Definitely.
like I know that it works.
Yep.
I know that it works. I
Yep.
mean, you yourself have an amazing money altar. I wish we could show it because I actually don't have one. And I am so inspired that last time I was at your house, just looking at yours, I was like, wow, I actually need to get my money altar together.
Well, if you're on YouTube right now or Spotify also has it, I'm gonna show. I'm a server, right? And so I have a server book. It's sitting right here, and so I'm gonna. This is Lakshmi, and she is the goddess of wealth, fertility, amongst other things. But right, she sits right on front of here to remind me and to help me be able to catch the cash. I got gratitude on the back. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, I have the quantum money codes on the inside. And so there
Yeah.
you go. That's just another way that I help call the money towards me and working in relationship with it instead of like against it or like I have
Yeah.
so many people that I know are just like in a fight with money, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, what type of energy are you going to get if you're fighting? You're going to get a fight, right? And so
Right.
opening yourself up to receiving. I can't tell you the amount of times that it's been like for some way or somehow I have to like give a big chunk of money towards something. And it's like that money I know was not even mine and somehow that money is back in my bank account like that. Right? And it's like
Yeah. Right.
how even is that? Well, because that money wasn't even mine. It literally came to me for that thing. And then it like just came right back. It's just
Yeah.
it's just absolutely insane. And this is just this wealth, all the pillars come together so beautifully, right? Because this is wealth, this is relationship, and this is health. There's studies out there that show when you give, you are a healthier person, just
Yeah.
mentally, you know? And so this is how they all come together. And so let's move on to purpose.
Yeah, let's talk about purpose because, that's kind of one of those things where every one of us, I feel like, has said to ourselves at some point, "What am I doing here?
Yep.
What is my purpose?" How do we find out? What do we do? How do we know?
Well, you start with the other three foundational pillars, right? You work on your health, you work on your wealth, you work on your relationships. And when you become so conscious in those three areas, I believe there's no doubt that you're not going to know what your purpose is. But those
Yeah.
and it's like I don't mean to suggest this is easy work, like working on these pillars, like, oh, I got four pillars. Like, no, this is deeply rooted things that have gone back lifetimes and lifetimes that we're unwinding here, with our health, with our wealth, with our relationship, and with our purpose. And so getting really clear and building those pillars, those first three pillars, just imagine you're perfectly healthy. You have all the money and time freedom that you need, and all of your relationships on point. They help you, they support you. So you have all three of these things. Now you are an integrated being who can work on their purpose. And you're going to be around the people who inspire you. You're going to have the time and money to do what it is that you believe you're here to do. And you're healthy enough to be able to receive the codes, to be able to process the emotions, to be able to hold the things that are meant for you.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to finding life purpose, it comes to really following your heart,
Mhm.
really following your heart. I mean, we all have the things that we just naturally like to do. We naturally like to be like, we naturally are drawn toward. That's what it is. All of those things are tied to your purpose in life.
Yep.
It's it's not it's not possible that you came here with nothing to do.
Yep.
It's not possible that you came here to do something you don't like. You came here to expand and grow. So whatever it is that you're drawn toward, whatever it is you're interested in, that's the key to figure out what you're doing here. That's what you're here for.
Yep.
And, sometimes we feel like maybe we should be here for some giant purpose that we're supposed to do some major action, but it could be you are here to learn how to love unconditionally.
Yep.
It could be you're here to express yourself through art or music. It could be you are here to learn how to be a better partner. And you're going to see all of your weaknesses and strengths reflected back to you in whatever it is you're here to do,
Yep.
right? It's like whatever your life circumstances are, it's going to put you into the path of your purpose. We are in a very specific, all this chaotic energy. I said earlier at the beginning was pushing us to open our souls up, but part of it is there's some really faded moments we're all having right now.
Yep.
It's like we have all these timelines that we have to pick from, but at certain points they meet at like a focal point, like a focus point, like in all the timelines, this one thing's going to happen. That's what it's like happening right now. That's where we are. That's why sometimes everything just feels so super intense because it's like these faded moments, these faded meetings, these people you're going to meet, these things that are going to happen are meant to happen for not only you, but the collective. We, the collective, are meant to go through certain things right now. And so those things tied to your purpose, I truly believe we're all going to see them. We're all going to start to see what is it? What is it we're supposed to be doing here? And the more we get in alignment with our purpose, the happier we are.
Yep.
Period,
Period.
because we all know what it's like to feel miserable when you're not doing something you're supposed to be doing or like doing or want to do, or you're like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this. This isn't it. That feels miserable. So, we are moving up into a time and place and dimension where we're all going to be able to express our purposes at their highest levels.
Yes.
So we want to get those other things in line so that we can express our purpose, so that we can do what we are here to do. And, it could be that you're here to be a light worker like we are. And if that's the case and you're here to shine your light, you got to have all those other things in order for you to really get your purpose and really shine your light and really make a difference in this world.
Yeah. And just know this. We say this almost every episode too, that the only constant is change. So don't feel like you have to be married to one idea. I mean, there's been times in my life where this is my purpose, right? I know this is my purpose, and then I've pivoted and I've changed.
Yes.
Like, oh, but that was supposed to be my purpose. Well, your purpose can also change, right?
Yeah.
And it always is on the same line. It's a journey. It's not the destination. It is the journey. So just remember that
Yeah.
too. Is like I was listening to a podcast by Aubrey Marcus today where he was talking about um, one of his biggest failures ended up being his biggest success because he was just a moment away from a pivot to change and success was there. So just know that too. You might be on to something right now that you think is it, right? And then you get there and it's like, oh shit, this isn't gonna work. Well, you might just be a pivot away from stepping into your greatest purpose. Everything is for you. Every single thing. And
Everything.
sometimes you need that failure to catapult you into the success. So don't be down on yourself. I even think about this YouTube channel and how, months ago it's like we're manifesting millions of subscribers. And it's like we have like 55 subscribers. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here with us. I seriously appreciate and I'm so grateful for your presence. And it's like just appreciating that instead of always grasping and wanting for more and just knowing that I'm living my life purpose right now. A million subscribers or 50 subscribers.
So true. So true. This is just all about, living in the now, being in the now. And that is where we end up being in our most peaceful.
Yep.
This is how we survive this crazy energy.
Yep.
Is we just like ground ourselves. We just breathe. We just take a look around at our life and be super grateful for everything that we have. And we just let it be. We just let it be and we do our best, just like we always do every single day, right? All we can do is do our best.
And when these four pillars are steady, when they are, I don't think they're ever complete. I think it's an ongoing process of
Yeah.
repairing and just being there, being present with each individual pillar. But when they are feeling, when you're steady, like you are able to manifest what it is you want. You're healthy
Yeah.
enough to be able to receive. You're wealthy enough to be able to go do the things that bring you and others joy. You have the relationships that build you up, who inspire you, who are bringing to you resources and things that you need in your life, emotional stability and support. And then, bam, you're living in your purpose.
Yeah. Which feels great. Which feels great. So I have my tarot, a bit of tarot cards here. I thought maybe I would do a little bit of reading for the collective here. Just see what spirit has to tell us. What messages does spirit have for us? What messages does spirit have for the collective? What kinds of things can help us during this time? What do we need to know, spirit? What advice do you have for us? Okay, well, the first card I pull is the Six of Cups, right? Which, the little keyword on the bottom of that is past. So, if we think about these cups as all of the emotional experiences that we've had, we carry all of that with us. We've talked before about how the body holds the score and the body holds all of that in, all of that emotional baggage. So the universe reminds us, yep, we're carrying that all around all of the time, which is okay, which is actually it ends up a lot of times um feeling like anxiety, right? That's literally what it feels like when we don't process our past. It feels like anxiety. It turns into anxiety because it ends up just being like, I'm so afraid that whatever has happened in the past is going to still be what happens. And that's what anxiety feels like. So, universe is just really acknowledging that that's what we're dealing with right now. Um, Interesting that the advice really, it's really saying this Page of Swords is an idea. This is we think about swords as thoughts, some thought coming in. This Page of Swords comes in to really says education, but it's really just all of the things that the universe puts in front of us, all of the ideas, all of the thoughts that it puts in front of us to help us deal with all these anxieties, all these things that we have, still processing. Universe is sending in a little bit of help for us. Sending in the Queen of Wands to help us too. The Queen of Wands is our ability to take action. It is our ability to, despite all of that, despite all of our anxieties, despite all of our fears from this past, despite all of the burdens we might carry, the Queen of Wands says, hey, I'm going to take everything that I know, all of those experiences, and I'm going to use them for my best and higher purpose. The Queen card is able to pull all of that together. And that's really what universe wants us to do right now, is just get us to our higher self, get us to maybe look at things in a different way. And and then it brings in some new beginnings for us, this Ace of Wands here, right? Always bringing in something new, always something new. There's always something more for us. There's always more to come. It's that whole thing of the only constant in the universe is change. We have to be able to let go of those older energies. We got to think better thoughts. We got to educate ourselves on what we can do to be better, to get better. That's part of what we're doing here, honestly, these conversations that we have. We end up having to find things and look up things and read things, and the universe is sending me, I don't know about you, but the universe is sending me different things that I need to see to be able to like talk to you, to the universe, to anybody who's listening, about kind of like where we're going with all of this. So the universe will always put those things in your path to help you out. The universe has your back 111% of the time.
Yeah. Everything for you is for you. Thank you so much for that reading, and thank you for just being such a beautiful divine channeler on this earth with me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to I started another YouTube channel doing a daily tarot card called Shannon is Energy Tarot. Please check me out over there. But I'm going to be doing a monthly tarot lesson with you guys. And I'm really looking forward to that because a lot of people, it's like you pull energy cards, or you pull or oracle cards, I mean, or tarot cards. And a lot of times, they come with like little books or whatever. And I want us to be able to get past that a little bit, and really read into the spirit of the cards. So I'm really looking forward to having those little lessons with you guys. But um, I always appreciate the lessons and the messages from the universe. However they come in, I will take them.
Yes, I am open to receiving and I am open to moving forward, right? Into releasing things that no longer serve me so that I can reach my highest self.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So I think to sum it up, we know we have to pay attention to, the pillars in our life. We know that we just have to keep bringing it back to ourselves. We keep having to just ground ourselves. We keep having to just remind ourselves that we're divine beings, that everything in our life is for us. Um, Reaching out to those people and those places and those things that make us feel stable and sane during this time. Do all those things. Keep doing that, and just keep loving yourself, and just remember remember to care for yourself. Remember how important you are. Remember how worthy you are. Remember you're a divine being and you've got this life. You've got this.
Mhm. Everything for you is for you. Thank you so much for being here with
Definitely.
us. I know I said it already, but I'm just so grateful for um, this platform, to being able to spread this message and to connect with everybody who is listening. So just thank you so much for being here. Our episodes go out every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Instagram. Check us out there. Go check out Shannon's Energy Tarot over there. I love watching your videos. Every single day, they seriously bring me such joy. It's such a beautiful message from the universe. And yeah, I think that's all. We will see you next Monday.
Okay. See you next week.